Hello, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing good. People keep asking me, Molly, how do you do a magic ring? I am going to show you in this video. I'm going to show you how to do the normal magic ring and how to do the chain 2 method. Like I always say, if you are a beginner trying to learn this, make sure you use a bigger hook than normal and always try and do it with acrylic yarn first, or cotton, or something that isn't chenille. If you do want to use chenille in the future, that's absolutely fine, but always try and use some other form of yarn first, as it will be easier to learn, especially with tension. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So yeah. Okay, for this video I'm going to be using a 5.5mm hook. We are using Karen Simply Soft. This is an Aran weight, which is slightly thicker than a DK. This is just how I do my magic rings. I will then show you the chain 2 method afterwards. So we're going to place our yarn on our forefingers like that, with our tail at the bottom. We're then going to take our thumb and pinch it between our ring finger and our pinky finger, just like that. We're then going to wrap our yarn around these two fingers, making an X. So you've got an X at the bottom, so when you lift your hand up, you have 2 strands of yarn on the top. We're then going to take our yarn and tuck it under our pinky finger, and using our thumb that we've pinched that tail with, we're going to then place that and pinch that with it. So you're then pinching those 2 loops. I'll show you again. So we have our strand of yarn with our tail at the bottom. We're going to pinch it with our our thumb on our ring finger and pinky finger. We're then going to take our working yarn. We're going to twist it around these 2 fingers. Okay, making an X underneath. So when you lift your hand up, you have 2 strands of yarn at the top. We're then going to take our working yarn and tuck it under our pinky finger, using our thumb to pinch the tail and our working yarn. So you end up something like this. We're then going to take our hook. We're going to make sure it's facing down. We're going to go under this first loop, and we're going to grab our second loop, and we're going to pull it through and twist it up. Okay, so you've pulled your loop through, your hook through, and you've twisted it. We're then going to put our hook under this piece of yarn here that is over our ring finger. Make sure you're facing your hook down. We're going to go under that, twist our hook to the side, grab our yarn and pull it through that loop that we have just made. And that is how I do my magic rings. I'll show you that again. So we have our yarn on our 4 fingers with the tail at the bottom, using our thumb to pinch these 2 in place. We're then going to wrap our working yarn around these 2 fingers, making an X. Just like that. When we lift our hand, we're then going to have 2 strands of yarn, and we're going to use our working yarn and tuck it under our pinky finger and use our thumb to pinch both of them in place, our tail and our working yarn. We're then going to grab our hook, and keeping it face down, we're going to go under our first loop. We're going to grab our second loop. We're going to pull it through, and we're going to twist it up, keeping that yarn on the hook. We're then going to go into this yarn here. Sorry, I forgot what it's called. Facing the hook down, we're going to go into this gap here, twist our hook, and we're going to pull our yarn through that gap, still pinching those 2 at the bottom. Okay, and then you take all your fingers out, and that is how I do my magic ring. Once I have done this, I will then place the desired amount of stitches. So I'm just going to do 6. I always like to do half of the stitches and then pull the tail slightly closed, and then do the other half. That way I find it easier to shut the tail all the way. So once we have got our 6 single crochets in our magic ring, we're going to pull our tail, and we're going to pull that shut. So our magic ring is now closed. Now it's closed, and then after that we just do our stitches in. It tends to be increases, but not all the time. So you see our V's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you will just, that's how you will just do your crochets around that, and that is how you start with the magic ring. The chain 2 method a lot of people find a bit easier, so we are going to do a slip knot. Keep a bit of the tail out if you don't want to do it too close. So we're going to do our slip knot. So we are going to cross our yarn over to make like a little loop. Then we're going to pull our tail through the loop to make our slip knot. So we have a hole, okay? So we're going to grab our yarn, we're going to flip it over to make like a little loop. Then we're going to take our tail and we're going to pull it through this gap. Once you've pulled it through, you're then going to pull on it and keep hold of this. So when we pull, we then have a slip knot. Once you have made your slip knot, you're then going to insert your hook into that and use your tail to pull it tighter on your hook, but don't pull it too tight, or else you will have too tight of a tension. So then we are going to chain 2. 1, 2. To do this, we are now going to go into that first chain that we have just made. So here's our second chain, and here's our first chain. We're then going to do 6 single crochets into that first chain. And then the tail that we use for our slip knot, we are going to pull that closed. And that is how you do the chain 2 method. I'll show you that one more time. So we're going to do our slip knot. So we're going to cross our yarn over to make a loop. We're going to pull our tail through the back of that loop. And then we're going to keep hold of this yarn and pull our tail at the same time. And then we're going to place our hook through our yarn, and using the tail we're going to tighten it on our hook. Don't tighten it too hard or else you will struggle to do your stitches. We're now going to chain 2. 1, 2. So there's our first chain and there's our second chain. Going into that first chain, we are now going to do our desired amount of stitches. This first chain is your magic ring. So I'm going to do 6. And then once you've done your desired amount of single crochets, doubles, half doubles, whatever it is, you're then going to pull your tail and close that magic ring. I hope that helped a little bit. I know some people can find it very tricky, which is why a lot of people go with the chain 2 method. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if it helped you at all. I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all the love and support, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!